Hey, you're here. All right, good evening. What's going on? So, we're gonna get started with this. We'll do about 15 to 20 minutes worth of work, and we'll go on from there. There's a lot of shit we have to talk about, but we're gonna take each day step by step because I don't want to miss out on any crucial information. Okay, so let's see. Where do we want to go with next? So, we talked about the manifestation aspect of Tatari, so we're gonna read this over again. Forms, forms vary, forms vary by rumor. I'm a dumbass. Tatari can take different appearance depending on the strongest fears and narratives circulating among people. Pretty much people yap too much, which is true. Temporary avatar. Certain manifestations like alter egos in Melty Blood are created by rumors. They are extensions of Tatari. It should be noted that yes, Tatari does indeed create avatars that are based on the alter egos, but if the Tatari avatar dies or goes away, then the alter ego is still alive. Yes. So, Sion is still a vampire, but she represses her impulses. Sion is a representation of those impulses. So if a Tatsu version of Sion dies, that doesn't kill the actual one being repressed by Sion. By this logic, Nanya is the original self of Shiki Tohno and is dormant within him. Tatsuri Nanya is a representation of him, but his death doesn't affect his counterpart, which is dormant within Tohno. We gotta remember, they're the same being in a sense, but they're two separate beings. It should be known that Tatsuri Nanya is a special case depending on circumstances. In White Lens ending in Melty Blood actions again, she's able to keep him around even after the events of the game, kind of like a familiar. Ree's wife, like we were going on about, is pretty special. Reese is a special situation. While she's consumed by the Nasuverse before the events of Tsukihime / Melty Blood, she's a separate entity compared to the rest. Her physical form was consumed, but her weapon was able to keep her essence / spirit alive. Her weapon is inside the Nasuverse and can't be destroyed. She is operating under oddly specific rules to the rest of the Tatari avatars. Of course, if the Nasuverse / Tatari event goes, then she goes with it. Due to the events, due to the power of God, it's Nazu, giving Sion a buff, she's able to keep Reese around after the events of matches again. In a similar vein, do a master / familiar role via rerouting a good amount of her magic circuits to her, which is still kind of crazy, but Sion is hilarious. Sion is just ridiculous. Alright, so we gotta talk about kind of a short-lived existence, well, short-lived presence. So, short-lived presence. So, I'm alternating between two projects that I'm working on right now. So tomorrow I gotta do the other one, then the next day I'll do this. Because that other one needs to get done. I need to take my time with that one. That was near the end, but I need to make sure I got this one started for the end of the year. So short-lived presence. So manifestations. Yeah, I cannot spell. Manifestations they're temporary. Are temporary and dissipate. It dissipates once the event. Once the Nasuverse is over, they kind of disappear. Or focus. Or the focus of fear and rumor shifts. Okay. So we talked about the manifestations. So what do we want to talk about next? Well, manifestation, hosts, what is Tatari? I guess we can talk about the fear aspect of it, because again, the rumors do give these guys form. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Section 4. Section 4. We'll call it human fear. Human fear and rumor as powered. All right. Gotta keep on repeating myself, but don't drink unless you're my age, which is very old. Okay. So the big thing is their existence really depends on the collective belief. So if the masses believe in it, yeah, then they're gonna exist. So existence. On collective belief. So once a rumor keeps on circulating, it gets to a certain point where they just get manifested. So Tatari manifests. Human fear and or rumor. And or rumor gets to a certain point. A certain intensity. So without this, they can't appear. So without this, okay. Just based on the rumor depends on the rumor shape its form. Yeah, I think that's good. I think aloud, don't mind me. Rumors shape its form. Oh yeah, because someone like Quark is extremely busted. So the stronger or widespread the narrative. Like I said before, put Tatari in like any other like media, all hell's gonna break loose. Like, put it in you mean not gonna Kokoroni? Yeah, get fucked. Oh my god. The rumor of the Golden Witch? Say less. you have to be with the actual mirror match between Beatrice and Beatrice. Alright, so the stronger or widespread the narrative, the more defined and impactful the Tatari manifestation is. Defined or impactful the manifestation becomes. But you can't have it without fear. So fear is a big catalyst. But we gotta be specific here because human fear doesn't just allow Tatari to exist. It doesn't just allow Tatari to exist. It kind of determines its behavior. Because depending on what the rumor is, all hell will break loose. Like, you probably have just get Wark, or you just have Nanya, or just Nero. It really just depends. It determines its behavior. Granted, the people in Masaki Town are kind of screwed regardless. We'll be very specific of how it interacts with the environment. Okay, that's good. So what do we want to do now? Okay, we're gonna be kind of cute here. So let's save this. Interaction with reality. Interaction with reality. Because the way Tatari works, it shows that a collective belief can have adverse effects or tangible effects. So me yapping or the populace yapping determines how powerful Tatari is. So we'll do like this. Tatari demonstrates that in the Nasuverse / Tight Moon. No, we'll just say Nasuverse in general. Then that in the Nasuverse, collective belief can have adverse effects. Can have adverse effects. Which in turn emphasizes, if I can actually spell, emphasizes the narrative, perception, and supernatural. Okay. Alright, so how long have I been streaming this for? 12 minutes? Okay. Human fear and rumor as power. Existence depends on the collective belief. So Tatari manifests only when human fears and or rumor gets to a certain intensity. So without this, they can't appear. Rumors shape its form. Yikes. We'll ignore that. The stronger or widespread the narrative, the more defined or impactful the manifestation becomes. Fear as a catalyst. Human fear doesn't just allow Tatari to exist, it determines its behavior. Wow, I'm whiffing these tonight. And how it interacts with the environment. Interaction with reality. Tatari demonstrates that in the Nasuverse, a collective belief can have adverse effects, which in turn emphasizes the narrative, perception, there we go. That sounds a little bit better. Okay. I guess we can talk about just canon stuff right now, then we just go on more stuff later. We'll start this and I'll wrap this session up tomorrow. Section 5. Canonical events. The big one, obviously, the Night of Wallachia. Because people forget. So, going off of that, I fucked up. So going off of that, this is the most well-known. Most well-known. Most well-known. So, Wallachia, our very, very sassy and dripped out vampire, is the anchor. That's the anchor. That's the anchor causing. And again, like I mentioned before, depending on which form he has, it's pretty much game over. So the event establishes it establishes how Tatari reshapes reality. The title of this, how Tatari reshapes reality. Reshapes reality on reshapes reality based on collective belief. All right. Okay. Unfortunately, I do have to go have dinner because it's the weekend. So let's just see what we have. What time is? All right, 20 minutes. Okay. Then I will watch Melty Blood. Remember, is a spin-off, which takes place after the events of Tsukihime. Okay. The most well-known instance of Tatari manifestation. Okay. Wallachia acts as the anchor, causing rumors and fears in the city, in Misaki Town, to manifest for one night. Again, depending on which form Wallachia is taking, yeah, it's pretty much game over. The event establishes how Tatari reshapes reality based on a collective belief. So we'll talk about Shion's perspective of it, because God, Sion is. There's a lot of things happening with Sion. It's either she's dealing with Wallachia or she's dealing with herself, being Dust of Osiris. But we shall talk about that in a couple of days. So anyways, like I said, I'm alternating between this and another project I'm working on, so we'll get to this when we get to this. Like, this is not good. I'm not in a rush to get this done. We're gonna make sure this is easy for people to follow, because it's a lot of information. As we know in the Nasuverse, things get complicated very fast. It's not as bad as Fate. Fate gets out of hand, but I'm gonna be as thorough and easygoing as possible when I'm writing this. So we're gonna take our time with this, just so people know what the hell's going on, because this is a concept that does not get talked about enough. Anyways, good stuff. I'll see people tomorrow. Enjoy the VODs for people who watch VODs.